live. There you go. We are live now. So I will do a refresh on the YouTube page in just a minute. What I might have to do, you're going to have a hard time actually following the chat and and chatting. So
yeah, well, I can't see the chat. Can you put the chat onto the Riverside screen or not?
no. I'm not sure actually. I don't think so. But let me just do a quick refresh just to see if we are live. Yep, we're live. All right, let me just open it up and minimize the volume. There we go. There you go. You're live, mate. You're live. It makes a difference now. Let me just adjust the chat room. Oh, the chat's not working. Oh, it's always one thing or another, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is.
So if I click on that, yeah, the chat's dead. There's nothing coming up in the chat room. Just a big blank window.
Is that YouTube chat or Riverside chat?
It's just slow. It's just slow. It's coming up with a whole load of new. Let me just go live chat. Oh, so many warnings coming up about moderating and things like that now. So, all right, so I'll put that just down here. So we'll see as people come in. There's one person watching. It's probably me. Now let me just do a quick test, see if it comes through, and then we will get going. You've got a dog, eh?
Yeah, I have. He's got dementia and he's blind, so he barks at every single thing he hears. And I've got a parrot as well. At 10 o'clock at night, guaranteed, he won't shut up. He's like an alarm clock at 10 o'clock at night.
Fair enough. All right. Well, there's nobody in yet, so we're just getting going. Yes.
Mate, put the aircon on. I'm in the bedroom and there's no aircon.
Well, in here, we got aircon going, but what happens is when the door's shut, there's no flow, so it gets really warm in here.
Yeah. So how many people are watching? Because I can't see any of those statistics. Still only one?
Just one at the moment. Anyway, yeah. We'll just give it a couple of minutes just to see if anybody. We're a lot earlier than we usually are as well. So, and I haven't shared the link yet, so I better do that. Just bear with me. Normally, I've got people that help me out with this stuff, but I've got screens going off left, right, and center. So where are we? Oh, we are. Did that work? Where's the WAFA page gone? No.
It's funny, you know, even though the dog's gone blind and he's got dementia, he can still manage to find his way around the house and find me when he wants to.
Oh, they've still got a good sense of smell and everything like that. And they've got better senses.
The worst thing that I find with him is he keeps wanting to go outside every few minutes. And I think it's just that he's forgotten he's already been out there.
Yeah. YouTube page. Or all right, so I'm putting an invitation out there. I mean, there's still nobody watching yet. Hang on. You are talking to myself because it takes a few minutes for everybody to come in. I thought it was supposed to go live in our WAPA page, but it's not showing that. So, yeah, I don't know if anybody's actually watching or not. Because these are reliably unreliable, if you know what I mean. So, and I can't quite
So
get.
what are all these other people that do live streaming using? Are they using Riverside as well, or they use YouTube platform to do their live streaming?
They use a lot of different ones.
People like Beardo, for instance.
I wouldn't have a clue. He doesn't tell people about what he uses quite often. But we've got somebody else has joined in now. I don't know who, but yeah, I mean, I'm using Riverside, but literally I canceled my subscription and I've gone back to the free version, which is what we're on now. So you only get 720 instead of 1080 and things like that. But I was actually invited onto a group chat the other day with people from all over the world, and there was about 6 or 7 people in there, and it was quite interesting. And I'll have to have a word with them about what platform that was. I'll probably got the link to find it again, but we'll see. But yeah, interesting times at the moment. Have you seen all the stuff going on with what Trump's said he's going to release?
Yeah, but Willie, nah. It'll all be more disinformation about the disinformation we've already received.
Yep.
That's all it'll be.
100%. Hang on, I'm just switching my screen bits around.
I don't think he's in control enough to get to the files that he needs. I think he lives in a bubble if that's what he believes. Even though he's the president, I don't think he's going to have access to it.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things. One of the things that they do say is that the people in power that do know all these secrets keep it from the president, because the president is just a temporary job. You only get 2 terms, 8 years max, and as a result of that, they don't want all the different people that are going to go through the presidency to end up with this information. So I think the majority of it is actually going to be kept, but it'd be interesting to see if anything gets released. You know, I mean, the JFK file,
as we've learned,
they didn't give you shit all. The Epstein files apparently exonerate him 100%. And let's see what happens about the UFO files.
Yeah, well, if we go by what the X-Files have always taught us, there's always a shadow government, so he's never going to not know anything. You know, he's not going to know.
Yeah, that's it. So we've got,
and if he does know anything, it'll probably be AI generated anyway.
And that's what's happening. I reckon the reason they're leaving it until now to actually release all the information is because there's so much AI out there that you're not going to be able to tell what's the real deal from what's the fake deal.
Yeah. And the problem is with all this information that you do get out there on the internet, none of it's really timelined. So you've got an old storyline mixing with a new storyline, and it gets mixed with each other, and you don't know what's the current storyline, if you know what I mean. So because one always says something, and then something else comes out which counteracts it, so you don't know where you are. You know, it's never an official storyline that you can follow from the beginning to the end. So it always deviates.
That's it. It's actually quite night, unless it's just because we're 20 minutes early. I don't know. Maybe everybody's going to come on about 9 o'clock. We'll see. But
well, maybe because they heard I was going to be on that, they've sort of gone, look at
that. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, this is Dion, who's usually in the chat room, keeping everybody chatting away and everything. He's actually on air tonight because both Fernando and Jeremy were unable to make it tonight. They both have obviously different things going on, and yeah, I can't go into too much about what's going on, but you know, there's family issues and there's work issues. So, or not issues, but
I guess. It's a shame not to be able to be on at the same time as Fernando. I haven't actually interacted with him before, so it's a bit of a shame.
Well, we're going to start doing a few more of these. I want to start bringing in where more and more people can come in and just have a general chat because, like I said, there was a chat room that I was in. It was an American-based one, but there was another Perth investigator in that group as well, and we did get a chance to chat about what's going on over here and everything. And the Americans are really interested in stuff that's happening outside of their shores, and that was really good. They were really keen to chat about everything, and I actually feel that we sort of monopolized the conversation a little bit, which is very strange, but it was fun at the same time. And I think they've actually come over and they've subscribed and stuff like that. So we will see. We will see if we can get more people in. But we'll just keep it short tonight if we don't get too many people in, and just have a bit of fun.
Is there anything new report-wise on the Yowie front? I don't keep up with all that type of thing because I honestly wouldn't have a clue where to look. But is there anything new on the Yowie reporting front?
I have been contacted literally last week by a lady. Oh, where was it? She's about 2 hours south of where we are. I can't remember the name of the location, but there's a lot of stuff going on around her property at the moment. And there's a big lithium mine nearby as well. So I can't remember what it was called, but she sort of said if we want to come down there and investigate, we will be able to sort something out. But she's actually talking about coming on.
A couple of 10.
Yeah, well, she's talking about coming on the Static Echoes podcast as well to talk about what's going on. And there's actually a couple of interesting guests lined up for that. So I've got to get back into them. But as you know, with everything that's been going on family-wise, I've had to put a lot of things on hold for a little bit. But I'm trying to just keep things plodding along as best I can, because it's hard when you're working all day, every day, well, 5 days a week, and then
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
And then you've got to do your record podcasts, edit podcasts, do the thumbnails, do the video descriptions, all of that. That's as well as recording it, and then you've got to get it up live. You've got to schedule it all, and everything takes time. It all takes time, unfortunately. But
on top of all that, you've got your personal movie projects as well. So I don't know how you do it, or I don't know how you fit it in.
Well, we're finishing that one this weekend. So if anybody doesn't know, I shot.
Looking forward to it.
I shot my first short film a month or two ago, and we're going back out to the location tomorrow just to do some final shots that are required, and then it'll be final editing, get it all put together.
Is it tomorrow or Sunday?
Sorry, Sunday.
Yeah, I don't mind getting there early for you.
Oh, look, it's there's not so much set up for this one because, like I said, there's a lot of run and gun stuff for this particular shoot. So we're only going to be there for a couple of hours just to get the shots that I need, and we'll take it from there. And apparently somebody got bored, so they've left us. There's only one person back in chat. So they don't like talking about things. But yeah, so they've got that to do, and then got to get that edited together and stuff, and then go from there. So yeah. What?
So in regards to future, I saw you put a post up on the WAPA page about going back into doing more ghost hunts in the future. Have you got any more hush places in mind that we're going to go to, or
there are a few places,
or is it the usual?
There's going to be there's one place that I've definitely got on the book, but that one is probably only going to be a couple of diehards that are going to do that, because that's like a 10-15 hour drive to get to this place, and there's nothing there. So it's up in the north of the state, and it is the UFO capital of WA.
Oh, okay.
So to the
Sounds
point
interesting.
where there's the specific roadhouse where a lot of people stay, and they have almost nightly sightings, and they have when you see the videos where people are going to Vegas and then they go out along the extraterrestrial highway and they've got all the alien statues up and they've got all of the different UFO things up and stuff like that. This has got that. Obviously very Australian, so it's going to be pretty low rent stuff, but it's got a lot of that stuff there as well. So I'm keen to get out there and see what it's all about. It's a 30-hour round trip, so if not much happens, it's going to be well, we're not doing that one again. But I think it's definitely something that we have to
Maybe
have.
planning on camping up that way, I suppose, at the same time.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Wouldn't be yeah. Yeah, well, you know me. I'll put my name down if there's a spot available.
Oh, look, it's just purely going to be a Skywatch UFO investigation and record some interviews with locals and things like that and try and document the whole trip. So it'll be an interesting little video, that one. Hang on, what's going on up here? Yeah, we're
still not many viewers.
No. I don't know what it is tonight. Maybe they're all abandoning.
Hi, Gary. How you going, Gary?
Maybe they're all abandoning us, or maybe it's just too early for them. I don't know.
Possibly.
But, yeah, for any podcasts that are coming out and stuff, you're going to see this kind of thing here at the moment because the lights are set up in such a way that it hides the big mess as I'm starting to redo the studio and stuff like that. But
have you ripped the TARDIS down, or is it still there?
No, that's staying there. The TARDIS is still there. It's just not lit up at the moment because the wall on the back is not much of a mess. Oh, it's pretty much a mess. So I can't even see my security cameras at the moment because this big bloody light's in the way. So I have to sort of look around the light to see what's going on. Oh, this is not very.
So is there much else to report paranormal wise around the world?
The big thing is just what Donald Trump's had to say, and we will see what happens with that. But no, there's not much else that I can think of. Nobody commented, contacted me about wanting to come on tonight. So obviously it's a busy night for everybody.
What is it? Friday night? Yeah, a lot of people go out. There's a lot of people that would rather be seen in the background and not seen and heard.
Yeah, well, they're not being seen or heard tonight. Oh, hang on, there's two people in.
It is what it
is. But yeah.
Hello, viewers.
Yeah, no, and it's come back to one again.
There must have been an oops, I pressed the wrong button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you noticed? All right. This is totally not paranormal, but you know the 3D prints. What's the best way to sand those things down?
Just light sandpaper. Just light sandpaper. So there are a few different ways. If you Google it, you can actually do it by vapor. But with there's vapors that you can use, which will sort of like melt the plastic. But I've never used that method myself. With a lot of when I do a lot of my stuff that I have to, if I ever have to sand it down, I usually don't sand it down until I've put a layer of molding play over the top, or whatever you're going to call it, putty, modeler's putty, because it fills in rather than trying to sand away the actual lines themselves. You're filling it in, so it makes it a lot easier doing it that way. But to be honest, stuff I've ever made, there's never been something that people really get close enough to see the lines and all that through it. I've never really taken it seriously. I mean, you'll see with the Liberator that I did for you, there's a lot of visible lines in that. But if that's only just going to be a shelf sitter, then you're not going to really know. You're not going to notice the lines either.
Yeah, well,
I just do it for the fun of it.
Yeah, once that's been done, there's a shelf which is right behind me. Is going to go in this corner, which will be part of the background, and the Liberator is going to sit on the top of that. And so it's going to be probably a little bit blurred anyway with the camera settings and stuff like that. So, but you can see little.
Yeah, you'll be too far away to see the fine lines anyway.
I was going to make a start on him today, and I thought, no, there's got to be an easier way than this, because I was sanding for about 5 minutes and it barely made a dent on it. So I think I might do what you're saying. Just over the main bits is just sort of use some of that filler stuff.
Yeah, just all I used to do when I did it was I'd get the modeller's putty. I'd put a bit on my finger and just run it across the surface. It fills in that little. You don't need to put heaps on, because if you put heaps on, you have to, you have to spend hours sending that back. But I mean, there's all different ways of doing it. I've never tried any other way, and like I said, I've never really bothered. I find I'm happy to 3D print something, look at it, think it looks okay, sit it on the shelf for a couple of days, and throw it in the bin. It's just the fun of actually 3D printing at the time.
Yeah,
and it's not expensive. It's not an expensive hobby to do. It's just very time consuming. I mean, I think I told you that alien in the background there, that took me over about 100 and something hours to print that.
He's good. It looks
so
good.
It's the time.
Yeah, I love it.
But I'm not having much. I'm not having much luck with this. The Centurion, the Cylon mask. That's really doing my head in.
That's not a wearable one.
Even if I shrink. No, I know it's not. But even if I shrink it down to a non-wearable one, because whoever did the model for it, I don't know how the hell it created it, but it's going to take like 7.5 days to print not even half of it. So it's going to take like 2 weeks to print it, and that's just and it's going to use almost 2 rolls of filament. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to find another model, but all the models that seem to be any good, you've got to pay for, because they know that they're good. And I just don't want to pay for one, because if it doesn't turn out to be any good, then I've wasted the money I'm paying for it.
Oh, look,
you just can't tell if it's.
Yeah, I'd pay for the money.
Yeah.
If that's the case. But what I'm thinking is,
I haven't given up though.
No, what I'm thinking is though, with some of the paranormal gear, might have to get you to start printing up a few like boxes and stuff like that to contain it all. That would be cool. And we'll get it customized.
Yeah, well, I 3D printed myself. I 3D printed myself some REM pods and things like that. And I've even done one that's in the shape of the Pac-Man ghost. Done the shape of the Pac-Man ghost REM pod. And a few other things like that. But you really need to know how to use CAD software, which you would obviously know how to use.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be perfect. You'd be perfect for designing all this type of stuff. Because if you know how to use CAD software and just throw it into a 3D image and then print it off that way,
yeah,
you'd be perfect. But because I don't know how to, I use the cheap ass free CAD software, which is not very good. So I'm very limited to what I can do. But if you know how to use it properly, you can build some really, really good stuff.
It's interesting. It's interesting
because
there's so much stuff that I want to create, and I'd like to customize it all so it's just for us. Even if it's just like a little carry case for your EMF meters or your voice recorders and things like that. I think it would be cool to have something that we could pull out and have WAPR on there or something along those lines. That'd be cool.
Yeah, see, I can do things like that. I think I can do. I know I can do things like that because I have done it. What else have I made? I've made signs and all those types of things. I've made toys for the kids and all that type of thing. So there's a lot that you can make. There's a lot that's already been made. So you're just using other people's files. But if you've got if the model is reasonably simple and you've got measurements, then it's easy to do. It's just when it becomes in complexity stuff. It's a bit hard.
No, I just know
Yeah.
we've got a mate over in Melbourne, and he creates his own paranormal. I mean, he does all the circuitry and everything like that, different paranormal gadgets, and there's some really cool stuff there. But he 3D prints his own boxes, and he said he can customize them all. And I thought, that'd be good. And then you look on eBay and Amazon and places like that, and there are so many people that are just getting these very basic. Take the REM pod, for instance. It's just a mini theremin circuit, and they can set that up, create a nice box with it, put some LEDs on so that they react, and they're flogging them for like $200, $300.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I've got 2 of those mini theremin kits in my bedroom there, waiting to be done into REM pod. My eyes aren't good enough to see that to be able to solder them.
Well, the funny thing is, I saw.
And hi, Mark.
Dion is actually in the chat today. He's not in the he's on camera rather than I'm having one of those nights, I think, rather than in the chat room. Well, there you go. Mark's trained in SolidWorks, and Mark's up your way, so you might have to set you two up so you can get some stuff put together.
Yeah, what I need to learn, Mark, is how to turn a 3D an image into a 3D printable thing. That's what I need to do. I can't see the chat reply if he replies.
Oh, he hasn't yet.
But that's how a lot of people do it. Like, you can import it. You can import, like, if you can take 5 or 6 pictures of one particular thing on different angles, and then you can convert that into a 3D image, and that's how you make the helmets, for instance.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do that. That's well above my pay grade.
Yeah. Oh, mate, there's so many things that I want to do. And like I said, if we can create some kind of a carry case for some of these instruments and stuff like that, that's really cool. I don't know, you make it like a coffin, or you can cut. I wouldn't do that for actual WAPA stuff, but that'd be just a little gimmicky thing. But what we need to do is work out some basic stuff that we can put together. A spot where they're going to clip in, say you got your EMF meter and you've got your voice recorder going, and then have the little holes so that you can see the screens and reach the buttons. And then you got like a little instrumentation panel where you can just go bing, 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 and the whole lot's there all in one go. I wouldn't mind doing something like that.
Yeah. The only thing that's going to limit it is the size of the actual 3D print area. At the moment, I can print I think it's 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters by 45 centimeters high. So that's the major size.
Yeah, you wouldn't want anything that big, otherwise you can't.
So I mean, So if you're just talking like an EF meter and an EVP recorder or something like that, you're probably only going to want it 20 wide, maybe a little bit more, 30 wide, maybe. I don't know what you got in mind, but I mean, there's plenty of different cases out there already that the designs are there to be used, and then you can, like I say, we can just modify it and add our own logos and all those types of things on it to personalise it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be absolutely awesome.
Because at the moment, I've got 3 little signs, mate, that I'm about to print up, or 2 actually, or 3. One, I think there's either 2 or 3. They're just little things to go on the wall. One is the West Australia Paranormal one, then the WAPR round logo, and I've also done Static Echoes. I've done one for Static Echoes as well. So they'll be just like a multi-layered sign, but because I can only print in one colour at a time, I've got to do the backing and then midway change the colour to So it'd be like a black backing with a white color or white with a black. But you'll see when they're done.
Yeah.
But they're just little things just to have on a sign somewhere. I tell you what, I did notice. Have you noticed the condition of those bloody stickers I gave you?
No.
Go next time you go outside and you see one on your car, rub it. They turn white.
On the back of the car. And mine are both still good.
Yeah, I've got 2 on the back of mine. Well, what mine were too until I touched them, and then the ink comes off. They say they don't last very long.
Hang on.
So they're more of a snick-knacky giveaway.
Quality of your 3D printer is a concern. Hey, I'm a member of a Hackaday. So you tried consulting that community.
Okay. Do you 3D print yourself, do you, Mark? Or
we'll wait until he responds. It'll take about 30 seconds for it to get through. But yeah.
I mean, I've got 4 printers. They're all Anycubic. Actually, I've got 5. I've got 2 i3 Megas, which is Anycubic. I've got the big Chiron, which is an Anycubic one, and then I've got an even taller Predator one. That prints small but tall, and then I've got an XYZ printer as well. So, but I only ever use one. I don't know why I've got 4 or 5.
We've got a new 3D printer shop that's just opened up down at the local shopping centre, and I was in there talking to them the other day, and they've got some really cool stuff printed out there. Really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, you really need to have your printer dialed in, and get the flow rates right and all those types of things. If you don't, and it changes per model too. You have to when you start printing a model, you got to make sure everything's printing right for that model at the time. Otherwise, everything changes, especially if you're using other people's creations. Yeah.
Well, I still love.
But yeah,
in the background. He's awesome.
Yeah. It's a shame that the reason that he has issues with. You'll see in the lines where every now and then it might miss a little bit where it's not printed it properly. That's all to do with flow, and that's where I'm struggling to get my flow rate right. Yeah. I change the settings and then it buggers something else up, and I don't have the brains to work all that out. That's what I said before. I just print things that look okay. If you're up really, really close, you'll notice imperfections, but if it's just a shelf sitter or something like that, or just something that the kids are going to muck around with, who cares? It's got lines in it.
Look at him in the background. How good does he look?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing you can do is you can also rather than use like a cream, you can actually also buy spray primer, spray putty for modelling too, which can also be used for that type of thing. Especially if it's fine lines, because that stuff sticks to everything, and that would be so much quicker rather than using your finger and putting the cream all over everything.
Yeah, Mark's just said, nah, he was hoping to get one soon. He only sculpts in clay and uses silicon molds.
Maybe he can make you a Cylon head mask, wearable one.
Problem is,
I can print. You're just fussy. You just want the new era Cylon. If it was the old era Cylon, I could print thousands of those ones. But the new one, not many people have created files for that one.
I do like the new one. He's pretty cool. But like I said, I do want to get into this, printing some cases for paranormal gear and stuff like that, which we can take out on site with us when we go out and do an investigation. I think that'd be really cool. And
maybe when we do.
I've got my spectrum analyzer, right? I need to come up with a way of locking that in and having a couple of other instruments either side of it. So that is going to be something really interesting. That we'll have to work on that, because I want to set up an array that I can actually have a camera and record all 3 devices, so that if anything comes up, especially when we're doing our Skywatch night, because we have been out on location where we do our Skywatches, and we have picked up that 1.6 gigahertz signal, which is what everybody knows if they watch that Skinwalker Ranch, the Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch, because they've been picking up that 1.6 gigahertz signal. And the difference is they've got really expensive spectrum analyzers where you can record the screen and stuff like that. Mine's just it's not an expensive one, but I need to find a way of recording the screen. So the only way I can do that is to actually rig it up with a camera on it, like a little GoPro pointing at it or something like that.
Yeah, that'll be simple to do. I mean, once everything's settled down with home life and all that type of thing, and we've got nothing better to do, I'll come down and get that tattoo done of mine, and we'll do some drawings and mock-ups then at the same time, and you just tell me what you want, and we can go from there.
Sounds good. Come down. Yeah, we'll have to sort that out in the next couple of weeks. And
like I said, no rush.
It's funny that as soon as we just hit past 9 o'clock, we're starting to get a few people coming in. There's 4 people. There was 5 people a minute ago. So we're starting to get a few people in. So obviously we've got Mark with us, and I don't know who else is in because nobody else is coming into the chat room. But yeah, like I said, there's a few conspiracy things happening at the moment that I'm really interested in. So, and I want some ideas of people on what topics to cover on things in the Static Echoes podcast as well, because I'm in the process at the moment of, like I said, I haven't been able to record anything, obviously, for what's been going on, but I want to start recording again, and I've got a list of things that I want to talk about, but I've got to write each one up, and each episode, even if it's only a 20-minute, 15-minute video or a 20-minute video, it takes a long time to write one of those up, because you can write pages and pages and you go, yeah, that's good. And then when you read it all out, there's like 3 minutes. So it takes a lot to study as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's quite easy to go off topic as well.
Mark's just gone, this is a really cool topic for him. He's interested in it. But all right, Mark, what do you think would be a good thing to 3D print that we could use in a paranormal investigation? I'd be interested to see what you come up with, whether it be a ghost hunt, a ghost investigation, or a UAP investigation, or even on a Yowie tracking the Yowie. It'd be interesting to see what we could come up with. Because it wouldn't take much if you wanted. You look at those track cams, right? When you do the trail cams and things like that for Yowie investigations, I reckon most of those boxes are just 3D printed or 3D molded stuff, and it's just going to be a tiny little GoPro type camera with a IR filter or something like that in there, and they do the job. But they sell them at reasonable prices. But I think we should come up with a few things that are specific to us. I don't know necessarily what they're going to be. I mean, you look at, for instance, the K2 meter, all right? If you open that thing up and you take out the battery compartment, all you've got is a tiny little circuit board and about 5 or 6 LED lights. That's all it is.
Yeah, and you could probably condense it down to about the size of a matchbox. Because that's exactly the same as the REM pods. After the REM pods, it's only as big as basically the theremin circuit board and the battery to go with it.
Yeah,
that's basically all it is. But people like to have nice, decent sized ones. I think a lot of the stuff is very gimmicky, and I think people like to make things look a bit bigger for the gimmicky side of things. I mean, if it was only just a small little tiny little piddly thing that was just black and nothing else, and it was just plain, you probably wouldn't get much interest in it.
I'll tell you what is really
But
interesting
when you
to me, right? You know, not Aaron, Nick Groff, right? He's been doing his own
Yeah.
thing on his shows. He's been using this thing called the Geo box or something like that. It's like a high tech version. It's really cool. It's actually the actual Geo box itself looks like it's actually been created out of like an oak wood with like a mesh on the front with LEDs in behind it and stuff like that. It's basically a super cool spirit box, right? I don't know what circuitry is inside it, but they've had some really good stuff. I haven't watched the shows. I don't know how much they've seen, but I just remember looking at this device and I go, I like that. I want one of them. Well, they're retiring it from the show because they've got a new, better one coming up. And they're in the process of, I think they're auctioning the actual one from the show off. But I looked up that particular model, and you can buy that particular model. But you know, give you a guess how much the Geo box is, and this is not the one on the show, just the normal Geo box. How much do you reckon?
Well, go and buy what you should get. So similar things, probably around over $1,000 easy.
$3,000.
Over $1,000 because the basic, yeah, because basic spirit boxes I've seen they still want like $1,500 for. That's basic ones.
Mm.
You know. And the funny thing is, though, is that people that will pay for it, but it's not proven to work. This is what I find the paranormal field in general very intriguing, because people will spend lots and lots of money on things on the hope that it works.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole paranormal thing is about trying to find out. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to find out things, to try to prove things. And with a lot of people, there's not a limit when it comes to funds on how much they'll spend on doing these type of things. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the one that they're auctioning off goes up for a lot of money. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
There's a team that use I think it's called a Phasma camera or something like that. I think it's from Ghost Shop or Ghost Stop or something like that. And I remember going over and look. Now this team, they've got about 4 or 5 of these cameras that they use, and they lock them off, and they can just use them, and they get really good quality infrared image from them and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind having a couple of those myself in the kit, so that when we do some of the bigger investigations, we can lock off cameras in different areas, as long as we put on a map where they are, so we know where we go to pick all the cameras up. They're wanting like $400 and odd each. So
yeah, is that the one that they're logging the little infrared lights they connect to it and all that type of thing on the sides?
Yeah, I think so.
You can connect little. They build their own IR lights to go with it. Yeah, I've seen those. I think that is Ghost Stop that's doing those.
Yeah, I do like.
But I think those are available through various. I think there's a few places that are doing them, their own versions. I think it's just like a generic camera. It's a red and black thing, right?
That's the one.
Yeah. I think a few places are doing those.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a couple of
those. But they're the ones that are supposed. They're the ones that are supposed to be full spectrum.
I don't know if they're full spectrum or if they're just IR. I'm not sure which ones they are, but I wouldn't mind getting a few of those. But again, you know, I just don't have the money to spend $1,500 to get a few cameras that we're going to be using here and there. You know what I mean? Because they're not really something that you're going to use in everyday life. Like, take for instance, I spent a fair bit of money on the camera that I'm using now. Now, you know for a fact I can take photos with this thing. I'm live streaming with it, using it like basically like a webcam. But I've also shot a full 4K quality film with it. It's really versatile. You can use it for so many different things, and you can add to it, take away. You know, you can strip it down and use it bare bones, or you can build the whole thing up so it looks like an actual movie camera. And to me, I'd rather spend the money on something like that. But again, I'm not going to do it for a ghost hunt. You know, you need something that's a bit more. You know, you can use it for infrared and stuff like that. But this one, there's no infrared on this. So.
No, nothing in my in my ghost hunting kit is expensive at all. Mine is all the basic stuff. I think the most expensive thing I bought was off of Temu, and it was one of these night vision, or a proper like a camera, like it looks like a real camera, but it takes nighttime shots.
Yep.
And that's basically and I think that was like $90. I think everything else is just cheap Spectrums, cheap on when it comes to pricing. It's all cheap stuff. You know, instead of people going out and spending $40 or $50 on the K2 meter, I think mine was like $8. I mean, it's exactly the same thing. It's just made by a different manufacturer.
Yeah.
And that's what takes me back to. It's amazing how much people will spend on gadgets that they believe are either better or will work, but who knows?
Well, this is the thing, right? The K2 meter, it's been around since the days of the early seasons of Ghost Adventure, not Ghost Adventures, TAPS, you know, Ghost Hunters and things like that. And they used it. It was never used apparently in Ghost Hunters International, but it was used in the original Ghost Hunters. And it's pretty much been debunked, right? Yeah, you can get fluctuations as well, but the amount of false positives you're going to get off that are so bad that it's almost unusable, but it's still the one that everybody uses, and it's the one that everybody puts up, and everybody uses it in the different ghost hunts and stuff. That's why I don't use I've got about 2 or 3 of them. I don't use them on investigations. I use that other thing that you've seen, and it would be
the red thing.
Yeah, I love that one. That one's more in line with like a Tri-Field or one of those kind of things. And I actually thought about getting a Tri-Field, but this thing does exactly the same thing. So I'm not gonna spend the money, because you can, as you said, do ghost hunting on the cheap. You don't have to have high quality stuff just because it's in a TV show. You can go really bare bones. Go buy yourself an Olympus voice recorder, $60, $50, $60. Don't go and spend. I mean, I've got a Zune in there, which is worth a lot more, but I've still got 2 Olympus voice recorders that I use for a lot, and I've caught some of my best EVPs on them. Get yourself a cheap camera so you can take photos, and one that if you gets damaged, you're not going to jump up and down and scream about because it didn't cost you that much. You start going up when you start looking at things like EMF meters and things, because like I said, you can get a K2 for $20, $30, whatever they are now, and they start working the way up. But like you said, these other EMF meters that are out there as well, they do the same thing. They just look a little bit different. So you don't have to go spending a fortune. You just get something that's going to do the job, so long as you can prove that it does the job. You know, a key point is the REM pod. I've got a REM pod that cost me about $100. But if you want to get the big black box with the red top, the traditional original one that you see in the shows that has REM pod written on the side, I've seen them up as high as $800. It's still got a $30 circuit inside, or not even that. You know.
Yeah, well, I've got a few of those round cases already printed up in that style of the REM pod.
Yeah.
I've actually got the S box, this S box, Spirit box, S box. It's the black and red looking thing.
Yeah,
that's the one I've got. But a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, but the most gimmicky thing out of everything that I've seen people use, and I've seen people using it on our own investigations, which is up to them. If that's what they want to use and believe in, or see if it works, is those friggin' cat balls. They make me laugh when people use those. I don't know what it is, but it's just. I mean, who would have actually sat there and thought to themselves, I'm going to see if a ghost is going to play with my cat ball? Who actually sat there and thought that?
I've got to be quiet and be careful about what I say when I say this, because I know people that swear by them. You know, it's like the top end, let's get the cat balls out. That's when we know we're investigating. But I've used them in an investigation. I've never had anything happen with them. And in fact, I've had all the batteries have died on them all, and you can't replace the batteries once they're gone. You just got to throw them and buy another one. I mean, they're cheap enough, but yeah, I've never seen anything valid from it, but I've seen a few other people supposedly have some interest. Hang on, we've got another message from Mark. It says, I'm interested in an RC type device with RFID and some other cool tools. I believe why reinventing the wheel. GoPro is pretty solid. However, using open source microcontrollers is a cheaper option. See, there's a lot of people that are putting a lot of thought into these different devices. We just got to get them. All right, Mark, if you start coming up with some really cool stuff, we'll test it for you and see how you go. And then we'll put it into production. Dion will put it into production for you, and then you start making some money.
Yeah, there's a lot of serious money that can be made in 3D printing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of these, the size of these 3D printers, I mean, they're not bloody cheap, but I mean, some people that have them in their own house, you know, they can print like a meter by a meter by a meter, 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters. They're huge, bloody monstrosity things, and local people that actually do it, they buy them. Obviously, you've got to have enough money to be able to do it. But that's when you start talking about 3D printing full things like cosplay, statues, and all those types of things.
Yeah.
And good luck to them if they can do it and they can make the money. Good luck to them. But I'd hate to sit there for so many hours just waiting for the bloody things to print. That's the annoying part. It's not a quick process.
1 row.
Yeah.
2 rows. Only another 3,000 to go.
Yeah, well, whenever I start 3D printing any particular thing, I always watch it from the very beginning to make sure it starts off all right. And I'm usually there for 45 minutes just staring at the bloody thing go round and round and round. It's one of these ASMR things, you know.
Yep. MJ's just popped in as well. Hello.
Oh, hi, MJ.
Oh, she's at work. She'll have to watch the live later, is what she said. So she popped in to say, like, that's important. That's the important thing. But yeah, I do think that we should start coming up with a few different things that people are going to want. You know what I mean? Doesn't have to be overly complicated. I think the simpler the better.
Yeah, I agree.
In fact, here's something for you.
Those junior
a little container that you can hold 2 or 3 devices in, right? That has a little pop-up thing where you can put the EMF and your other 2 devices, whatever we're going to put in there, so they all sort of stand up, so you can put them down on the ground and they're not all sitting in the sand or wherever we happen to be. And it's like it's got its own little shelf and everything. That would be super cool. That would be, yeah. I like that idea.
Something like that opens out onto a 3D printed tripod base or something like that, and it just folds out.
Yeah.
Inbuild a stand into it, so it just basically you're just opening the thing, and then it just automatically has a stand that pops out as well. Or yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do like that.
Yeah, Mark's just said, yeah, flashy lights seem to be the theme for success, so we have to have some flashy lights in there.
Yeah, I can put flashy lights in a lot of things. I've got one of those huge, massive bloody. I don't even know where it is anymore. Big snap lock bags, the ones that you could probably put 4 or 5 kilos worth of cereal in it. It was one of those big, huge ones, and it was just jam packed full of little LED lights that I got from overseas in China, all different sizes, and that. It only cost like $10, but the whole thing was jam packed with wires and everything. And I don't even know where they are anymore.
Do you know how to program all that stuff up?
Because you buy it. No. I used to have a friend that used to do all the programming for all those types of things. and he was very good at open source programming, those little circuitry boards.
Yeah.
We parted ways, and I can't. That's what I'm saying. I've got 2 little junior theremin kits in there, and I just can't build them because I can't see the bloody solder.
Interesting. No, I've got so many things going through my head at the moment of things that we can do, but we need to get the brains together to actually come up with something, a finished product. So it's something we'll have to chat about anyway. We'll have a chat when we catch up on Sunday. I like the idea of that. So we can't tell everybody.
Like I said, I've got so many products.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we can't tell everybody where we're going.
If you want to learn, no, can't tell them that.
No, but what I was going to say is,
no, I don't want
it is a haunted location, so we may. I might take a couple of little bits there with this because I know the actress and her partner who are going to be there for the main part of the shoot. I know they're interested in that stuff as well, so might let them have a little bit of a play with the gear once we've got the shots that we need, and see how we go.
I mean, if you want to learn how to do 3D printing yourself, I'll give you one of my 3D printers. I've got one sitting there that it's only a small one, and it can print. I think it can print 20 by 20 by 20 or whatever it is. Only small. If you want to learn how to do it, I'll just give it to you. I don't want anything for it. It's sitting in the cupboard, not doing anything.
That's dangerous.
So you can take me up on that offer and learn how to do it yourself.
I think I will.
So when I come down to do the tattoo, then I'll bring it down and I'll show you. I'll set it up for you, and you can tinker away. I'll give you some filament. So yeah.
Shit. All right. Yeah.
Then you'll have to start designing.
Oh, that's not a problem.
Have you got CAD software?
Yeah. We'll probably have to get some other stuff, but
CAD software.
I work in a 3D environment all day, every day. We use 3D CAD software every day.
Yeah, CAD software is not friggin' cheap.
No,
to get a decent software.
The particular program that we've got, the licensing on that's about $14,000 a year for a single license.
Yeah.
No. I'm not going any more specific
there is one.
It's a work thing.
Yeah, well, there is stuff out there at the moment that you can. The same thing, you can pay for a yearly subscription, but even that's like $400 to $500 just for one single personal user.
Yeah.
And the average Joe that does 3D printing for fun can't afford that. No, if you're making money out of your 3D printing, then yes, but the average Joe, no. But yeah, I'll give you one of my 3D printers. I'll bring it down and set it up, and you can have some fun.
That, I mean, did you say 20 by 20 by? That's enough to make a couple of small little cases and stuff, to something basic to practice on to start off with.
And with a lot of the cases and that, with the designs that you do, a lot of the stuff can be. I mean, you might be able to. The case is larger. You might be able to say print the bottom, but the way it prints is still like a hingeable thing that you print the bottom and then you print the top. It'll snap together anyway. So you can make, say, instead of it being 20 by 20, you could make it larger or whatever, and still have their snappable hinge in there to make it larger. So
yeah.
But you'll see what I mean when I bring it down.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
But then I've just got them sitting there. They're not doing anything. Collecting dust.
I've got a lot of stuff that's doing that. This is another thing that's going to get added to my list. I've got my leather crafting stuff that I do. I've got obviously the tattooing stuff that I do. Shouldn't have said that on there, should I? All the different bits and pieces that I do. So, luckily it just dropped off another person and say it's only a couple of people heard that, so we're good.
Yeah, well, you can't get in trouble for doing that, though, can you?
No, it's not legally, but there are people out there that don't like people. There's a lot of people that do tattooing and stuff like that, but I don't do it for other people. It's only for my family and friends. So my kids, tattooed 2 of my kids, tattooed my wife, tattooed. Two of my stepkids tattooed.
Me?
A couple of my mates, yeah. So that's all. That's all. I'm not in it for any. I just enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Got to come up with a couple of good ghosty type tattoos to do as well.
Well, I'm eager to get that one that I sent you the design I've done. I reckon that looks quite cool.
It does. It does.
I don't know how it's going to sit on it. I don't know how it's going to sit, but you never know.
We'll stencil it, put it on. If you don't like it, we can reposition it all and stuff like that and change it up to suit.
Sounds like a plan.
Anyway,
so is it still Mark in here, or is it just me and you?
There's 4 people in. I don't know who they are. I haven't heard from Mark since he said the flashy lights seem to be the theme for success. So it's been quiet in the chat, not like usual. So, but I think we might.
Maybe he's found himself some flashing lights and staring at
it. If you saw how many flashing lights, it's not funny. I think I'd give myself an epileptic fit if I turn them all on all at once. So, yeah. Even this, right? I bought this for the film that I was going to shoot. Didn't end up using it, so I might even set this up in the background because considering it's a fake little thing, it looks actually really good, eh?
Yeah, it looks like a real flame, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's so simple. And this is what I mean. Something that is so simple. You could probably 3D print one of these. Anyway, turn that off.
It's amazing what you can actually 3D print. And the thing with 3D printing too, it's not just one style of plastic you can 3D print with either. You can 3D print with materials that you can make pairs of thongs out of. Flexible materials like that basically look like rubber. I mean, it depends on the nozzles and things you use, but the types of the materials you can print with is amazing.
Yeah, well,
but that's something for you to investigate.
Mark's still here. He said he loves tattoo art.
Yeah, so do I, Mark. So do I.
Yeah, I'm always adding little bits and pieces here, there, and everywhere. That little finger one was the last one that I did. Get bored.
You've got to be able to draw. I can't draw. I can draw a stick figure, but that won't look very good as a tattoo.
I don't know what that means. On food, lol, make burger. I think he's hungry.
Just go to Macca's.
Unless he's talking about 3D printing a burger.
Probably. Actually, you can 3D print food. There are 3D print food things. You can 3D print foods. You can 3D print houses.
Yes, I've seen that. But yeah, that's a bit big for what I'll be interested in. So, anyway, I think we will get going soon because.
All right. Well, it's fun. It's been fun to sit and be part of a stream.
What we'll do,
wouldn't mind doing it again sometime when we're actually discussing the paranormal.
Oh, Mark's on Printer Burger and yes, food. We should see if Mark wants to come in and have a chat sometime on the camera. You want to come in and have a quick chat now, Mark? Or I bet he says no. He's too hungry and he's eating plastic food at the moment. But no, yeah. I think
next time I do come on, I'll make sure I'm set up properly. I'm geared up I'll have a chair set up this time.
You're about to fall asleep.
Lolloping on a bed.
Your camera's sitting on your belly.
No, I'm not. It's falling off.
Get yourself one of those.
I wasn't prepared for it. You can tell that.
Get yourself a little stand like this that's got the little tripod on the bottom and stuff.
Yeah, next time I do it, I'll go and sit in my snake room and sit and watch the snakes while I'm doing
Get
it.
yourself a proper little tripod like that. That's really cool. That it's solid as a rock. He's going, nah, cheers. I just love listening.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't.
Thank you. Hey?
Like I say, I wouldn't mind doing one of the shows when Fernando's on. I think it'd be nice to have a bit of a liaise with him. Seems like a pretty cool dude.
He is. He's awesome. We'll try and get everybody on. Maybe next Friday. We might try for next Friday. Do a live stream next Friday if anybody's keen for one. There's only 2 people in at the moment. Everyone's disappearing. So, like I said, we'll call it for tonight. But let's go live again next week. It'll probably be more like the normal time, 9 o'clock, maybe just after 9. And we'll try and record a couple of things beforehand. I want to start trying, if I get a chance, to record a few things for the Static Echoes podcast as well through the week. And then I want to try and start putting stuff out again next week. So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
fingers
I've
crossed.
got a computer, so I'll see if I can get that fired up and we'll do it properly.
Sounds good.
Rather than use the phone. All right, leave it there. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Take it easy, and we will catch up with you next week. See ya.
See you later, everyone.